Yes. Now, the question is, how does prayer or blessing help? The other as a service. I said, if you can physically do, if you can't do, at least pray. Actions of the human being is of three. Human being uses three instruments to perform actions: the thought, the word, and the deed. Manasam karma, vachikam karma, kayakam karma. So all human beings' actions goes through these three. You follow? What are the three? Thought, word, deed. If I can do by deed, I do. There are times where I cannot do by deed. In that time, what will I do? Word. That is prayer. That is prayer. At least, loka samasta sukhino bhavantu sarva sanmanga. All prayers result in that. You follow? If not by word, at least by thought. How does the hierarchy work? At times in life, you may not be able to do an action physically. That is not an excuse not to serve. Therefore, you can serve through word. Sometimes in life, you may not be able to do anything physically and may not be able to utter a word also. At that time, you do mentally. So these are the three avenues by which I can serve. Okay, till now? Yes, that is coming now. These are the three ways in which it's done. Thought travels. It's called Sankalpa Shakti. It's called the power of thought. Nowadays, what they call as power of positivity, power of positive thinking, all these things they're talking about is nothing but coming. It's called, in Vedanta, we call it as Sankalpa Shakti. Sankalpa means thought. If there is a thought that a person directs towards your welfare legitimately, that thought will fructify as your welfare. Because action has to produce a result. The law is every action will produce a result. Suppose if there are 100 people legitimately wishing your welfare, if there are 100 people legitimately wishing your welfare, what happens to you? That 100 will have an effect on you. Are you able to follow? All human beings are bound by their karma and they have to go through the consequences of their karma. If that is the only law of life, Loka Sangraha and all has no meaning. Helping the other, serving the other and all has no meaning. There is another law also. There is a law that you pay according to your karma. There is another law. What is another law? If there is a collectivity that is working towards somebody's welfare, that works out. There is another law. Are you able to follow? Supposing if it is only one law, everybody suffers things according to their karma. And nobody can help anybody. If that is the law, in what way can a human being become unselfish then? What is this idea of increasing the circle of identification, Loka Sangraha, etc.? The very fact that we are talking about Loka Sangraha, increasing the circle of identification, and all that implies that you can positively help somebody. It may not take away that person's problem completely. Intensity can be reduced. Somebody is having 1,000 rupee loan. Collectively, we can give 500. That 500 reduction is a blessing to that person. Are you able to follow? 1000 to 1000 cannot be done. That is very clear. But the intensity can be reduced. That is called the Sankalpa Sakti. That is the power of thought. When an unselfish person says, it fructifies. When an unselfish person says, may you be blessed, it fructifies. The human being's problem is they immediately look back and see what is happening. Nothing will happen. That's not what's going to happen. Immediately that person will look back and say, nothing happened. You follow? It's not going to work like that. All that unselfishness can do in terms of other is it can reduce the intensity for the other. So the giver is benefited. Sorry, the receiver is benefited. The giver is also benefited. How the giver is benefited? Considering the welfare of the other. Are you able to follow? Ramatirtha calls it as, beautiful example he gives. He calls it as joint stock company, he says. Ramatirtha calls it as joint stock company. Maybe that's the time all the stocks and all would have started. I don't know why the stock only came into picture in the first place. Yeah. Kind of madness. But then the whole world is doing that, therefore it is perfectly correct. And there are wise people also guiding it. Yeah. So, Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett. Yeah. Almost buffoon drummer, isn't it? Almost sounds like a buffoon it is. Ramatirtha talks about it in 1902. Joint stock company, he says. He says life is a joint stock company, he says. According to the number of thoughts you deposit, that many shares you have. According to the number of thoughts you deposit, that many shares you have. If you have deposited one thought, one share. 100 thoughts, 100 shares. Million thoughts, million shares. So what is it he says? If there are a million thoughts deposited on the welfare of the other, what will happen? It will fructify. Are you able to follow? The crux of the whole thing is the prayer or the blessing is only saying you will be blessed. What that blessing is, prayer doesn't talk about. Carefully remember. That's when it works. The prayer simply says, may you be blessed. What is that blessing? Loan borda. I have a loan. I'm suffering. I have a disease. Something I want is not happening. There are 10 things in the list I have. You will be blessed, Abdina. Of the 10, what will happen? Prayer says, that is left to the divine wisdom. What should happen to you is left to the divine wisdom. That we are not talking. But the very thought that I am depositing, that let the other be at peace works. Are you able to follow? That's how it works. It's called the power of thought. Influences. Thought influences. Thought travels. Thought influences. Vedantic thought is influencing us, no? Isn't it? Vedantic thought is influencing us to an extent where we are willing to leave what I thought as wise way and what others are stilling as the wise way of living. I'm changing, no? I also thought that is the wise way of living, and around me also people are still thinking that is the wise way of living. I'm leaving all that and I'm changing. What is influence? The thoughts. The thoughts that is coming from the Shastras. You follow? Thoughts don't come from the Shastras directly. Medium. Guru becomes the medium for the Shastra. The Shastra won't speak to you directly. Book is only words. What is a book? Group of words put together is called a book. Shastram is not the book. The words that are given a meaning by the teacher, which we don't generally talk. It's not necessary to talk about that because it is implied in that. So therefore, what do we do? Without reference to the teacher, we always keep to the Shastra. You follow? Therefore, when there is a thought for the welfare of the other, when there is a thought for the welfare of the other, it works. What kind of a thought? You will not say, may this happen. That is not prayer. If you say, may this happen, then you are deciding what is good for the other. You will not say, may this happen. You will only say, let something good happen to that person. Are you able to understand the difference? This person is having a lot of loans. Oh, let that person be free of loans. You will not say. The person is not passing the exams. You will not say, let this person pass the exams. It means you are deciding what is good for the other. We don't know what is good for the other. But then what do? Let good happens. Let good happens. And who decides that? Let the divine decide that. You follow what I'm saying? In that sense, it works. Seriya? Yes.